Hey VC, how's it going? Right, okay. Yeah, quick video, just want to show some, well, a real mixed bag of stuff actually, if I'm honest with you. I mentioned before that in November, December time I don't tend to buy too much stuff. Well, January I've more than made up for it. I bought a fair bit of stuff January. Basically I've been out and about with my job, which means visiting different record shops obviously, and charity shops and stuff like that, so I picked up odds and sods, plus a few bits from eBay and stuff. So but yeah, just kicking things off. This is what I'm listening to in the background, hopefully you can hear this. This is an album called I Go Die For You by Kaya Matenga Tweedy. I think that's how you pronounce it, that's what I'm going with anyway. But yeah, so this is just lovely African high life music. I love that, I've said before, that you know, that high life guitar sound. It's just so uplifting, so joyous. I always buy records in that sort of style whenever I come across them. So yeah, so basically, I say this is original press in 1981, say out of Ghana. I meet up once a month with a group of friends in the back room of a pub, just to sit around and play records and drink beer, you know, idyllic stuff, you know. But yeah, one of the guys turned up with a bag of records, all of which he'd bought that day. He paid 50 pence for each of them, and this was one of those records, you know. So he very kindly sold it to me for a tenner, which I was quite happy with that. He made a turn on it, so everyone's a winner. But yeah, lovely stuff, so cool. Right, okay. Earlier in this month, I read an interview with Betty Wright, a soul singer, so it made me pull out some of her old records. This is a record I've had for years. This is a debut album, my first time around on Atco. A lovely straight soul record. I think this is 60, it's 67, is it, or 69? It's certainly late 60s. A lovely record. If you haven't heard it, definitely worth checking out. But one of her albums that I didn't have was this. I think this is her third album from 1973, also on Atlantic. This is an album called Hard to Stop. That's right, yeah. But I mean, look at that cover there. Lovely stuff. Yeah, a really nice, funky soul record. You know, her vocals are great. I'm going to do a needle drop on one of the tracks from this because her vocals really are something else. Yeah, the interview was interesting actually because, you know, he talks about the records that she made and the hits that she had in the early 70s. I think Clean Up Woman was a big hit, wasn't it? But yeah, how she went on to form her own label in the 2000s. She recorded with the Roots. Yeah, really interesting stuff. But it got me interested again, whetted the appetite, and got me pulling out her records again. But really nice stuff. So yeah, worth checking out. Right, this is what I picked up from a local record shop. An album that many of you will know well. This is Lou Reed in New York. This came out in 1989. Now, Lou Reed had a really good 80s. I think, you know, pretty much all of his 80s albums stand up pretty well. But I'd say this is, you know, certainly his best record of the 80s, and I'd say, and I think most Lou Reed fans would say, it's one of the best records of his career. Yeah, the music is quite understated. All of the focus is on Lou's vocals, Lou's lyrics, and he must have really liked the lyrics because it comes with two lyric sheets. You've got the inner sleeve, which gives you all the lyrics, which is very good. And you also get a separate lyric sheet which provides all the same lyrics again, you know. So I did actually say to my wife that perhaps we could put the record on, you know, have a lyric sheet each and sing along with Lou, but she didn't want to do that. So, but yeah, good stuff. But no, really pleased to pick it up. This is a gorgeous copy. Yeah, something I've never owned before, though I know a lot of the songs. I'd never heard the album in its entirety before, so really cool to pick it up. The first time I didn't hear it at the time, but the first time I heard a track from this was Dirty Boulevard. I've got a Bowie bootleg CD from about 93, and Lou Reed comes and joins him on stage, and they do Dirty Boulevard together, and it's a lovely version. So yeah, that's where I first heard that song. But yeah, great album, pleased to pick that up. Okay, a bit of reggae. This is something I picked up from Psychotron Records over in Sutton Coldfield. This is Yabba You and Jar Jar Way from 1980 on Island Records. Let's get the label's quite nice. I'll show you the label. There you go. Show the label there. Very nice. Yes, so Yabba You, real name Vivian Jackson, obviously was a roots reggae musician, producer, label owner. In fact, I picked up a couple of singles on his on the Vivian Jackson label at the end of last year as well, which is quite nice. That's Wayne Wade, Everybody Ballin', and this is Wayne Wade, Happy Go Lucky. These are only a couple of quid each, but yeah, nice stuff. But yeah, this is a really nice roots reggae album. Obviously, very much of its time, that I say, that lovely roots sound. But yeah, anything by Yabba You I do tend to pick up as and when I see it. But that's a really nice copy as well. And another little bit of reggae. This is from a record shop called Nervous Records down in Hinckley in Leicestershire. I'd only been there a couple of times before, just when I'm passing out that way with work, but I did go in. It's mainly rock music, a lot of 60s stuff. It doesn't have much in the way of soul or reggae. In fact, the reggae section was just a handful of records, most of which were old Knackered UB40 albums. But he did have this, which is a lovely copy of Singers and Players Vacuum Pumping from 1988. I mean, I think I showed their previous album to this, Leaps and Bounds, in a recent video as well. Singers and Players were a collective on the all musicians and artists which recorded for the On You Sound label, Adrian Sherwood's label, and they came together throughout the 80s for 5 albums under the name Singers and Players. This is the last of those 5. All of those records are worth picking up if you see them. This perhaps isn't as good as the other 4, but still really nice stuff. I'll do a needle drop on it. The opening track I absolutely love, Run Them Away, lead vocal by Bim Sherman, lovely laid back vocal. I'll do a needle drop on that. Very cool stuff. Okay, this is Mark Murphy Sings. Yeah, so this is 1975 on Muse Records. Now, Mark Murphy was a jazz vocalist. I've said before, I don't think there's enough vocal jazz shown in the VC. So many great vocal jazz records which are largely ignored in favour of spiritual jazz or free jazz. Now, I've got no bother with any of that, but it would be nice to see a little bit more vocal jazz. Mark Murphy was one of the great jazz singers. I've shown his records previously over the last few years, a couple of his 60s records. I know I showed Ra at one point. But yeah, this is an album that I've been looking for a little while now. It's something I've never come across in the wild. I ended up ordering this off from a seller on eBay, I think it was. And what's nice about this record, this is something he did quite a bit actually. There's 8 tracks on here, all of which are famous jazz instrumentals. So the likes of Cantaloupe Island, Maiden Voyage, Naima, the Coltrane tune, and he's basically put vocals to those songs, to those pieces of music, added lyrics, put vocals to them. And I mean, some work better than others. The opening track is a version of Red Clay, the Freddie Hubbard tune. So the vocal version is called On the Red Clay. I'll do a needle drop on that. It's a lovely, funky, jazzy tune. Great drum break at the beginning as well, which I'll include in the needle drop. But yeah, really pleased to find out, and a great copy as well. Okay, then finally, this is Beat Girl, the soundtrack to the film, music composed by John Barry. This is an album that I've been looking for a number of years now. Over the years, I've been buying quite a few John Barry scores, particularly to the Bond films, obviously. I think I showed a few Bond soundtracks in recent videos. But yeah, John Barry's one of my favourite composers. I mean, this album is very much of its time. The score's very much of its time. I say it first came out in 1960. This is a gorgeous copy. Yeah, whenever I see this, excuse the pun, it's always beat. But I say this is a lovely copy. So I was quite happy to part with some cash for this. So yeah, cool. Cheers.
Give me back my man. side porch, a sleepy morning way out in the boondocks. Stories are being told on the red clay. A red clay's where we came from to begin with, and where we're going. Time comes to split. Sun's being dug on the red clay.
Better